What's going on, Mitchell?
You know what? I was reading the instructions on table tennis, or tennis table, or
Tennis
ping
table.
pong.
Ping pong,
Yeah,
table
did
tennis.
you know that I competed internationally because of it? Like I was in the. Never mind. I will not divulge any more information.
No more information divulging.
Yeah. What are we talking about today, Zach?
Uh, how to choose a medical school to apply to. Something we're both doing right now.
All right. Well, welcome everyone to. If you're new, welcome to Getting That Medical Degrees, where we talk about everything medical related. We will touch on your degree at some point. So if you have any recommendations or questions or any comments, please feel free and give it a thumbs up if you like the video. And if you do not like the video, leave us a comment so we can improve on it more. But let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get into it. So, first, before we get into it, as you guys know, I'm retaking the MCAT as well as Mitchell after
Wait, I'm
having.
not retaking the
Oh,
MCAT. I'm
he's taking
taking it
the
for the
MCAT.
first
I'm
time.
retaking it. Um,
Yeah.
I'm taking my
Well,
NAPLEX first, my pharmacy boards first, and my focus all on the MCAT. So,
I'm glad I didn't take it. Like, I'm glad I listened to you and not take it. Like in that moment.
yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah.
You've been out of like what, 300, $400, something like that,
It
or
was
more.
like 350 or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I am applying to medical school this year again. Um, I already have my schools picked out. I think I have like was 17 DO schools,
17. Yep, it was 17.
17 DO schools, and maybe one MD. So kind of know a little bit about this topic, and I did it before. So let's get into it. So picking your schools from in-state versus out-of-state. Um, is it going to be cheaper? That could be a reason here. If it's in-state for you, most time it's not, unless you're looking at LECOM.
Hmm.
But also state bias. That's kind of falls into the next point. Is private versus
Yeah, so
public.
so like stay biased, like explain a little bit more about that, please.
Yeah, so some states will say, hey, you can apply to us, but we're going to take 1% of the people out of state. But you can still apply.
We can still get your money though. It's all good.
Yeah. And if you guys didn't know, when you apply to a school, it's for, at least on Nokomis, it's like $45 for your every additional school past your first school. And after you submit that, then you pay about $100 for your secondary application. So you're paying just about $150 per school, usually.
Jeez.
So just for them to
Sheesh.
reject you and be like, yeah, you're out of state, sorry. Most schools are pretty forward with this, but some schools are kind of tricky with it. They won't really tell you about it until like they reject you, like, hey, sorry. So yeah, something to watch out for too. As I said, private versus public. So public schools care more about like the in-state versus out-of-state, while private schools they could care less. There's actually some schools that take like 80% out-of-state versus in-state. So
Oh gosh. Yeah, but like private, I'm assuming private is more expensive.
they're about the same.
Really?
I mean, your price range is ranging from 30,000 for LECOM to 75,000 for some other schools where it's same for in-state, out-of-state. And I think most private are ranging around like 45,000. I was looking at.
Yeah, the 30, that's Lee. That's one of the cheapest schools that I've ever seen.
That's why a lot of people apply at LECOM. Plus, they take a lot more students than other schools, and you can apply without taking the MCAT.
Oh yeah, if you have a high GPA or something, or some students, I have like a couple friends who were just in the pre-med program and they applied to LECOM and they already got in and like they didn't even take the MCAT at all. So like I was envious.
Yeah, if you have a high GPA, this counts your cumulative GPA, not your science GPA. If it counted my science GPA, I'd be in. Um, Also takes your SAT scores into account too.
Oh,
So if you have a
wow.
really good SAT score, you can get in pretty
Yeah.
easily. Mine were like average, so with my GPA was
So,
like zero point 0.2 points higher, I'd be able to get in from just that. My MCAT score is 1 point too low, so that was also that problem there. But that's just LECOM. LECOM's really cheap. Apply there if you want. It's like 30K compared to like 50K, 75K. Is that? But you also need to know your budget. So are you willing to pay $100,000 per year? Some people say yeah. Some people say no.
I mean, if it's the only school that accepts you though, and it's either you pay $100,000 a year or you wait another year not knowing where you're gonna get in. I think I'll take the $100,000 a year.
We also rate the opportunity cost too. Like every year you don't apply is also another you're not going to work as a physician. So you also have to count that in too.
Yeah.
But if you take the MCAT again, you could probably get into a cheaper score maybe. So it's also like, am I going to save $400,000? I'm going to give up working a physician salary for 250, 300,000. So it's you kind of have to weigh every option there for the cost.
Yeah, that's why I'm like waiting 2 more months until I take the MCAT again because my score of 490, I don't think is gonna cut it.
Now for lower scores, I will mention this that VCOM has been known to accept people with a lot lower scores.
Which school?
A VCOM.
Oh, VCOM. Yeah.
They have 4 campuses, so put up real quick. It's South Carolina for sure, Virginia, Louisiana, and Alabama. Those are the 4 schools they have.
Yeah, I think, but the scores range between like 490 to 508, right, or
Not for
something like
not
that.
for this school. That's just overall for DO schools.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
This school has been known to accept people with a lot lower GPAs, like 3.3s and like a 493 MCAT. There's been a couple of people I saw on like the boards have got accepted with that
You
based
know,
on like the other stuff they have.
maybe I should think about that.
Maybe, but those people also had like really good extracurriculars, so like research and stuff too.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I only have research. That's it.
But you also need to look at the pass rate of the school too. So if a lot of students are failing the school, do you really want to apply there?
Oh yeah, I didn't even. I wow, I didn't even think about looking into the pass rate.
A lot of schools want to brag about this, so it's usually on their website. And if not, you can always probably ask them to, because that's kind of an important stat to know. Like, for example, West Virginia's pharmacy school, I think the pass rate's like 90%, 95%, or something like that. Something crazy high.
Hmm.
Then passing your boards too is another issue, which is also goes into the pass rate, which I think is like 95% people pass the NAPLEX boards, pharmacy boards. So something to keep in mind there. The match rate for residencies. Are a lot of the residents matching first match? Are they not matching?
But I think that isn't that only based on grades, or is that based on the statute of the status of your university of
It's
your
kind of
medical
both
school?
too. Some people take your
Come on.
stats of your school into account. Yeah, some of the bigger hospitals do. But also,
Yeah.
if you're not matching, your school probably didn't prepare you well enough too. So that also plays a role into it too. If you're not doing too good on your exams and making really low exam scores, it falls back to your school too.
So wouldn't it mostly fall back on the student studying?
I mean, if the school makes really impossible exams though, and it fails you because of that,
Yeah.
or it's not a pass-fail school, and most schools are students are failing because of that, the school's not preparing students well enough, and they're also making the students fail, putting too much on them or something like that too.
So I have a high probability to get accepted into a school in my own state, other than getting into an out-of-state one,
Uh, Probably not, depending on what school it is.
depending on what school.
Yeah, some schools literally accept 80% out of state and like 20% in state. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
those stats are on their pages. So like when you're picking schools, you really need to look into it. So like match rate, pass rate, in state versus out of state, private versus public. Really need to look into all that stuff before you put a school down.
What's the name of that website that you were just showing me?
Choose DO for DO schools. That'll show
Oh,
you like all the DO schools. You can go on there, read like a blurb about each school, filter them out by your MCAT scores, your GPA, whatever you want to do. That also plays a role into letters of recommendation too. Some of these schools require a MD or DO letter.
oh, like 25.
Yeah, there's like
There,
14 that don't, and there's like 25 that require at least a DO or MD letter, which is insane.
yeah, I think it's less than 14 that don't, but 25 of them require a DO or an MD letter, and it's kind of like,
Hello,
I don't think I did anybody. Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear
Okay.
you.
I was, I was like, but I don't think yeah, I don't personally know or have any relationship with any MD or DO, for them to send me a letter of recommendation. So, um, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
You also need to keep in mind there's 14 schools. Aren't really 14 schools either. Some of it is just like multiple of the same school, just spread out and so it's to give them more money too. There's also that. So you're just like, oh, you're planning a PCOM? Well, guess what? PCOM has two applications you can apply to. Just so PCOM gets more money.
Of course.
But then you have residencies. So some schools are known for certain residencies. Some of them have like really high, like the best family medicine college or university, something like that. Like, what are they known for? Like, sometimes this is really hard to figure out. Sometimes you can't figure it out. But some schools brag about it. So we're kind of needing family physicians or primary care physicians in the U.S. right now. Some schools will brag about that. It's like, oh, well, we have this many people going to family medicine or this many going to internal medicine. Some schools brag about it, some don't. Some are really good at research. So if you want to do more of a research doctor type thing, you can go there as well. Just trying to figure out what the school's good for. And then during the interview, you can talk about that too. So it kind of helps you with your interview as well. Also, their mission statement. So if the mission statement's helping, doing a lot of research. The school's all about research, but you hate research. I don't think you should be applying to that school. You know, if their mission statement says they want to like improve research of this category, that category, and that category, if you don't match that mission statement, you're not a good match for the school. Do you have any other things you want to add or any questions you want to ask about this?
No.
This isn't something I don't think you've done yet or are going to do soon.
I actually have a list. I was doing a little bit of research on MDs and DO schools that I wanted to apply to. I made a list. I think I have like 30 different schools, and so I have to narrow it down to and be more specific because I think I want to apply to at least 20 different schools. But first, I need to raise my GPA. My GPA. I mean, need to raise my MCAT score. I've taken the test 4 times, and I'm averaging 490. So, I'm lacking in like. I mean, I haven't taken 2 classes that I need for the MCAT, like biochem and organic chemistry. But um, so I'm taking 2 months to study hard. I'm actually doing 8 hours. That's why I'm so tired. I'm just tired of looking at the computer.
Yeah, I mean, I also heard that if you do high quality studying, so I like doing like shorter bursts. So I'll probably do like
Yeah,
1 or 2 hours of really high quality studying for it.
yeah, 25 and 5 Pomodoro.
And I always do that instead of just doing 8 hour days because I can't do 8 hour days studying. I couldn't do it in
Well,
pharmacy
I'm
school.
not doing like straight 8 hours. Like, no,
Yeah,
there's no way. Like, I'll go crazy.
but like just in general though, I can't study for 8 hours a day. I have to do maybe like
Oh wow.
2 or 3 hours a day max. I did about an hour a day in pharmacy school and did fine. And really accelerated
Uh,
classes.
yeah,
So
I think you might struggle a little bit in medical school. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe you're just one of those guys who just like, reads it, gets it,
no.
answers it, passes it.
No, I'm really bad with like first time seeing it. So I was giving one example. We had a course called infectious disease. It was a course that's supposed to take you an entire year to do. We did it in 6 weeks.
I
Entire
took
course.
I think I took a class like that too, infectious diseases, yeah.
We did the entire course in 6 weeks. Most
Yes, I
schools do it
did.
in
It
an
was the
entire year.
biology class. Yes, dude, I love that. I love that class.
Mine was like all about antibiotics and what bug you need to
Yeah.
treat the antibiotics. It's a really big topic, really important for doctors that doctors always mess up one. So it's really important to know it as pharmacists. But
Yeah, that's funny.
hey, that for now. We'll maybe talk about it in a future video. See you next time, guys.
See ya.